A massive earthquake strikes Indonesia. Residents evacuate in the darkness, but so far, no signs of a potentially deadly tsunami.
Haunted by the past, the judge in the Michael Jackson trial allows prosecutors to admit evidence from past child molestation cases into Michael Jackson's trial.
Hello and thanks for being with us. I'm Allison Stewart.
And I'm Contessa Brewer. Those stories, plus the bitter battle between Terri Schiavo's family members, now focuses on the funeral plans.
But first, a developing story we've been following this afternoon. A powerful earthquake rocks Indonesia. It hit the island of Sumatra, and we have just learned that it registered an 8.7. Reuters News Service is reporting there are dozens of deaths on the Indonesian island of Nias. NBC Chief Science Correspondent Robert Bazell is with us now with the latest from New York. Bob, fill us in on the details, how this all started.
Well, this is an earthquake of enormous magnitude. 8.7 makes it one of the largest earthquakes in this century. It's only slightly smaller. It's about 3 times less. About 30% smaller than the earthquake that struck on December 26th. But this is a monster earthquake, and the geologists can argue whether it's an aftershock of the December 26th earthquake or not. The big question, as you pointed out, is did it set off a wave that went around the world, a tsunami like the December 26th earthquake? So far, there are no reports of tsunamis. We have had reports of very good things, that in areas of Thailand and in Banda Aceh in Indonesia, they were warning people to get away from the beach, so there was not a repeat of the scenes you're seeing here from December 26th. So there was some warning. The U.S. Geological Survey said it sent out 40,000 emails to officials around the world warning them of this within 20 minutes of knowing about the earthquake. So it could be that the tsunami went in a different direction. We haven't had any reports of tsunami activity.
And so to clarify for people who are watching early
in the Indian Ocean on this one. Now, so far we have not been hearing reports of tsunamis in this one, but you can check out the shares of oil today. Oil did rally briefly on this news. Again, this is the Indonesian island of Nias is where this has been calling. It's been 4 hours since the quake, and that is the only report of damage that we've been hearing so far. Are watching that situation very closely. And Michelle, we begin with you.
Yeah, one of the issues, definitely, Becky, and we learned this the last time during the previous earthquake and the subsequent tsunami, is just how much insurance exposure is there to something like this. And we learned last time there isn't a whole lot. The other issue was oil production in Indonesia going to be affected? But Indonesia only produces about 1 million barrels a day, and it's been declining because, unfortunately, they haven't been investing very well in their infrastructure. So those two situations didn't seem to really affect the market very much. Take a look at some more of the Dow movers. Joe highlighted the big story of the day, which is the intraday turnaround in AIG, but we saw a lot of intraday turnarounds going on. Some of the strongest members of the Dow: Boeing, Philip Morris, I still call it Philip Morris, Altria, excuse me, American Express, Caterpillar, IBM. In fact, Caterpillar and IBM had been up almost more than $1, so we have been seeing strengthening throughout the day. Could be because of the pullback in oil, could be also because of the strength in the dollar. Remember, these are two issues that have been plaguing the market, but we're still waiting for some key data later in the week that could very well affect the markets. The other thing we haven't talked about much is this is the last week of the quarter, and next week we start to get earnings reports. Right now, we're only expecting 7.8% growth for the S&P 500. That's according to Thomson Financial. I say only because if you take a look at this board that we've built for you, if you go back the previous 4 quarters, we had growth of 19.7%, 16%, nearly 17%, 25% growth. This is in earnings in the S&P 500. So we're now coming up on very tough comparisons for the next 6 quarters. So that could very well be why we have seen such a stall as well within some of the major market averages. Let's get over to Leslie at the NASDAQ. Hi, Leslie.
Thank you very much, Michelle. That was interesting about the earnings growth news, so we'll watch that very carefully. In terms of what's happening today in the market, yeah, we've regained this 2,000 level, but it's not like we're going great balls of fire above that, so we're just hanging on by a point. And I would point to your attention the volume at 1.1 billion. That is almost a holiday light session. So it's a very light trading day. The strength of what there is in the market is coming primarily from semiconductors and internet. Here's a look at the internet sector. Yahoo rallying 3% today. Google up by $3.10. Amazon, and here's Intel up by 1.5%. No big news there. Biotech, that's the drag on the market today. I do want to show you a note from Barry Ritholtz, because I think he's got an interesting perspective here, because he is looking forward to a market bounce. He says the markets are so oversold that they're due for a corrective bounce. If you're long, maybe that's good news, but hang on. He expects that bounce to be short, and he says that any bounce should be used as an opportunity to exit most long positions. especially cyclical, rate sensitive, or high beta names. He would use any lift over the next 2 weeks to sell aggressively. An interesting note there. Of course, another catalyst under the market has been mergers and acquisition activity, of which there's quite a bit of it today. Not concerning MCI, but we'll wait for that any moment now. But Hollywood, Blockbuster, we know, has ended its Hollywood bid, which clears the way for Movie Gallery to acquire Hollywood, and then the bottom two, Digital Impact and Axiom. Axiom is acquiring Digital Impact for $3.50 a share. That's a quick look at where we are. 2001, Tyler, we're up 10 points.
Leslie, thanks very much. Leslie LaRoche reporting, and our thanks as well to the show.